Hello and welcome to day 4. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of static movement. So that means not very much movement at all. We're going to be holding poses for a long time so that we can really lengthen the muscles and lengthen everything around the muscles as well. So in between our bodies, our bones, our ligaments, our tendons, we have this stuff called fascia. So that's everything in between. And we really need that to lengthen as well, because if you can imagine, your muscles can only lengthen so much, then everything around it has to work as well. So today we're going to get deep into the tissues of the body. So what I'd like you to do is grab some props. Now don't worry if you don't have any yoga blocks. You can use cushions, blankets. You can even use things like, as an example, I've got this little box here. It's like full of toys, but you know, like a box like this, that's absolutely fine. Just something to hold your body up. You don't have to use anything. If you don't have anything around, that's also absolutely fine. So let's get into our first pose. I'd like you to come into a seated position, legs out long. Just going to grab my blocks a second. So I'm going to give you a few variations here. Bring your feet slightly wider than hips distance. Make sure that the kneecaps are loose. Tilt the pelvis forward. Now again, you might want to sit up on a blanket here because this is going to help tilt the pelvis forward. So you just sit up on the edge and then it kind of naturally will tilt it forward. You're going to bring your hands in front. You're going to lengthen through the spine. Take a big inhale, exhale, fold forward until you feel a slight stretch in the back of your legs and relax here and just rest here. Try not to drop your head down yet. Look towards your feet. Come until you feel a slight stretch and hold it. Now another way that you can do this is by grabbing anything like yoga blocks, or like I said just a second ago, I had like a little box. Grab something in front of you. You can even put a pillow over this as well. Rest your head and hold this here. So it's just like a little bit of extra support. Now if you have bolsters, they are great for this. But again, you don't have to have them, but it's just a nice way to kind of take some of the weight off. You can also put them in front of you to put your elbows on. Completely up to you how you'd like to take this pose. Just find the position that works for you and hold it. We're just going to hold this for a couple of minutes. So this is a little bit of an introduction to yin yoga. Yin yoga, you tend to hold the poses for between 2 to 7 minutes. And what this does is it allows us to completely relax the body, completely relax the muscles, and it really helps to get deep into the tissues. So slow inhales and exhales, go till there's a slight stretch and hold it there. Now don't ever feel stuck. If this starts feeling too much, move up out of it slightly. If you're in a position and it's suddenly feeling too easy and you can't feel anything, go a little bit lower. You know, go until there is a stretch and then hold it there. Make sure that you can breathe nice and calmly. The main point here is to relax and let go into these positions. If you had your head up, you can now let it go down. Make sure that your breath is nice and steady, nice and even, and relaxed. Try to relax those leg muscles as much as you can with every exhale. Just a couple more breaths here. And slowly lift the head and walk the hands back up. Now, please bear in mind with these poses, it really doesn't matter how far down you get, as long as you're feeling something. If that means you're sat up straight, you're sat up straight. Okay, let's keep the right leg where it is. The left leg's going to bend in. So the left foot is going to come against the right thigh. Now, the closer in you can get here, the more of a stretch you're going to feel. So if you want a little bit less, move your foot out. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. So if you have your props, you're going to place them on the inside of the right leg. Again, you can just rest your forehead down. You don't have to have any. You can lean over. You can rest your forearms on them. If you have got your forearms rested on them, try to come right over your right leg. So place a block either side. But again, if you've only got one prop, just come on the inside. And let's hold it here. Try to relax your legs as much as you can. And again, we're folding until we feel a slight stretch and staying here, looking towards the toes to start with. Make yourself as comfortable as you can, as long as you're still feeling a slight stretch. So if you need to bring props up higher, bring them up higher. If you need to bring them out further away so that you're lower down, bring them lower down. But again, listen to your body. Only you can say where you're going to go to today, and just take note. I don't want you to push yourself too much, because what happens when we push ourselves too much is the heart rate starts to beat faster, the body starts going into the fight or flight mode, which means it actually starts tensing up, and we want to do the complete opposite. We want to relax into it. So find that slight stretch and just let it go. Relax the head down now. And let's just breathe here for a moment. Just check in with your body again, make sure that everything's nice and relaxed. Sometimes things can tense up over time. And loosen that right kneecap. Let's just do a couple more breaths on this side. And very slowly, just walk yourself back up. Neutralize out the spine, so lengthen through the spine. Just take both legs out in front for a moment. Bend the knees up, plant your feet flat on the ground, and just rock your knees from right to left, and just notice if there's a little bit of a difference on either side. Let's do the other side. So left leg goes out long, right leg bends in. And again, up to you which variation you like to take. You can put blocks in front. You can just lean right over. You can place a block either side to put your elbows on. Just loosen this kneecap. Loosen all the muscles. Look towards your toes first. Go forward until you find that slight stretch and hold it there. Take a couple of breaths here. You can even kind of rest your head in your hands here as well. Completely up to you. Sometimes this can actually be one of the hardest parts, to actually relax in these poses. If you had your head up, you can drop it down and just completely release here. Remembering to keep checking in to your body every now and then and just seeing, does it feel too much? Do you need to loosen out of it? Do you need to go a little bit deeper? Do you need to have a little wiggle? Is something not feeling right? Find that slight stretch and relax. Maybe even close down the eyes. That can really help to relax the body. Slow inhales and slow exhales. Send that signal to your brain to relax. Couple more breaths here. And slowly lift the head and walk the hands back up. Place both feet back on the ground. Let's just windscreen wiper the legs again. Lean back slightly. And just rock your legs from right to left. And we've got one more pose to do today. So get yourself into a comfortable seated position. So maybe that's on the edge of a blanket, maybe that's right on the floor, that's fine. We're going to open our legs up wide. So open them up nice and wide. And even if just sitting like this feels too much, you can always come and sit against a wall. And as long as you're feeling something in your legs, in your hamstrings, maybe in your glutes, then that's fine. You can stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, same thing. Blocks in front. Maybe you fold forward, rest your head on the blocks. If you have a bolster, it's nice to kind of hug around it. Maybe you don't have anything and you just lean forward. Maybe you place your elbows. And again, maybe you can rest your head in your hands. Completely up to you here. Just take whatever variation you need to until you're feeling some kind of stretch around the leg area. Lengthen through the chest. Look forward to start with. Make sure that you've loosened the kneecaps. Try to relax the leg muscles as much as you can here. It's really great if you are folding forward to sit up on the edge of a blanket because it's so easy for the pelvis to kind of sink backwards and stop us getting that tiny bit further forward. Whereas when you sit on the edge, it will tilt your pelvis so that you can get a little bit lower. You can do that on a rolled up blanket, on a cushion, rolled up jumper. Okay, let's just take a couple of minutes here, remembering to listen to your body. Come up if you need to come up, go further if you need to go further. And relax the head down. Just check back in with your breath. Make sure that you're breathing nice and deep, nice and steady. Just check in with your body. Do you need to come up? Do you need to go a little bit further? Last couple of breaths. Can you sink a tiny bit deeper? And slowly walk your hands back up. Move your props out the way. Use your hands to bring your knees back together. And one last thing that we're going to do here, I would like you to, you can have a prop here. You don't have to, but it would be nice if you could have a prop that's not too high. So maybe a pillow. Roll down onto your back. Plant your feet on the ground. If you need to see what I'm doing, turn to look at the camera. Don't turn your head when you're in this position. I'm going to lift the hips up, place the prop underneath the bum, and then lengthen out the legs. So we've just slightly elevated the hips. And again, you don't have to. You can just come and lay flat on your back, just as a kind of a rebound out of all the forward folding that we've done. Just open up the front of the body for a moment. Just take a couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, just gently wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Maybe take a nice big stretch up overhead, make your body nice and long. And then gently roll over onto one side. Just take a pause here. And slowly push yourself up to seated. And that's us done for today. I would love to know what you thought about this practice. So don't forget, leave me a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'm looking forward to practicing with you tomorrow for our last day and seeing all your amazing results.